This is the 2015 edition of the Yo-Yo Buyer's Guide for YoYoTricks.com. If there's a newer buyer's guide and you're on YouTube, you can just click a link right here and that will take you to that guide. On YoYoTricks.com, you can just look right below the video and we'll have a link to that guide if it's available. And on the YoYoTricks.com app for Apple or Android devices, we'll have a link below those videos as well. And throughout the video, we'll put links in the same places anytime we refer to a product. And in this video, we just want to do one thing, and that's answer the question, what is the best yo-yo? Now we know that when we ask questions like what is the best, it's really just a matter of opinion. And so these are our opinions of what are the best yo-yos we can make available to you right now. Now when it comes to answering this question, a big part of the answer is actually you. How good you already are as a player, how much you want to spend, and also what yo-yos you already have. Because if you're a brand new player, getting a yo-yo that's really advanced might actually make learning tricks a lot more difficult and even frustrating. If you've only got $25 to spend, then there really isn't any point to looking at $100 yo-yos, so we'll recommend something else. And if you've already got a yo-yo, what we would recommend is actually getting a different yo-yo with very different qualities than the yo-yo you already have. And while it's true that if you're just trying to learn one specific trick, it's not really going to be all that helpful to get a whole new yo-yo just for that one trick. If you get yo-yos with diverse qualities, each yo-yo is going to make learning certain tricks easier and certain tricks more difficult. And having those different yo-yos will encourage you to push into different spaces with your tricks and skills, and will help you become a better and more well-rounded player. Now, the other thing I want to do before I get around to actually addressing which yo-yos are the best is if you're new to yo-yoing, there's some unexpected things that you may not know that you should consider when you're getting your first yo-yo. So I want to address those first. The first one is that most yo-yos these days actually come with ball bearings. And because of that, if you use your yo-yo a lot, the bearing could actually wear out if it's not properly lubricated. And so we sell yo-yo specific lube. It comes in thick and thin. We actually have videos that describe the different qualities. But it's a good idea to pick some of that up if you don't have some already. The other thing is, of course, yo-yos have strings, and as you can imagine, strings that are going to wear out and they'll break over time. So again, it's a good idea to pick up some extra strings. And a lot of yo-yos, they also have these little round silicone O-rings on the inside that help them come back. And after about 4 to 6 weeks of really intense play, those can wear out and they'll need to be replaced. And so again, you might want to look for those. Now, to make it easier to figure out which lube and strings and response pads to get, on every yo-yo on our store, we have a little recommended section that you can find, and it will tell you the right type of lube for that yo-yo, the right type of strings, and also the right type of response pads. So you can just click on those and it'll take you to the right places on the store to pick up those items. In addition, just about every yo-yo that we sell comes in either a kit or a pack that includes a lot of the items that you're going to need, especially if you're a first-time buyer, so it's a good idea to check those out. This buyer's guide is going to be just a little bit different than what we've done in the past. In the past, we've recommended just our top yo-yo for every different category that we make suggestions. And in this one, we're going to do the same thing, but in some of the categories, we're going to offer some additional yo-yos. And what these are for is if you've already got the yo-yo that we've recommended, but you're looking to get a couple other yo-yos or just one other yo-yo, then the recommendations we're going to give are the ones that'll be the most complementary, that will give you the most diverse set of yo-yos and play styles so that you can become the best player possible. So let's get to it. The first yo-yo is for what we call the absolute beginner, and this is somebody who has never ever yo-yoed before, or maybe they've got a yo-yo, they threw it down, and that was pretty much it. They never got it back up. If you've already thrown a yo-yo even a little bit before, if you've thrown it down and got it back up and that's it, we would actually promote you from beginner to what we call a starter. But if you're a real absolute beginner, the yo-yo that we recommend the most is still the Fast 201, and we've recommended this yo-yo before. And so far, nothing has really come out on the market that has replaced this for us. It still just seems to be the best option, and let me show you why. When you take this yo-yo apart, it's got these little teeth on the inside that you can actually kind of push into the yo-yo. And what those are for is they help the yo-yo come back especially easily, and if you're just trying to wind the string by hand, that's even easier, which is unusual on a ball-bearing yo-yo. And what's nice about it is not only does it make the yo-yo a lot easier to use, but it doesn't hold you back as much as a lot of beginner yo-yos do. And so we feel like this is just a really good option for getting you started. It'll get you through those first couple of tricks that can be really difficult, and then you'll be ready to move on to all the more advanced tricks once you're ready. So, like I said, if you're beyond the beginner stage, but you still feel like you don't know a lot of tricks, then you're going to be in what we call our starter category. And so our number one recommended starter yo-yo is the Sage. And the reason why we like the Sage is because it's a nice wide yo-yo, which will introduce you into your different string tricks, but it also comes playing very easily. And so when you throw it down, you just give it a tiny bit of a tug and it comes right back. It also sleeps a long time for a starter yo-yo. Which will make it a little bit easier for you to get into those first tricks. But even more important than that, it's actually upgradable. And so what that means is you can actually take the bearing out of this one and replace it, and it will turn it into a more advanced, or what's called an unresponsive yo-yo. And so I've set up a Sage like that, this one right here, and I'll show you what that means. As you know, a normal yo-yo, you throw it down, you pull it up, it comes back. Well, an unresponsive yo-yo is designed to not come back when you pull it back up. And what this does for you is it opens the possibility of doing very different and really impressive tricks that just can't be done on a regular yo-yo. And so it's really nice when you have a starter yo-yo to get one that is upgradable, because then it will be able to take you to that next level. And so the Sage is just, in so many different ways, it's really just the best option. Now, if you're just getting into learning tricks, what we would recommend is getting what we call the Sage Yo-Yo Starter Pack. And the Starter Pack, it comes with a yo-yo and it comes with thick lube, which will keep it playing really easy and really responsive. If you feel like you're getting ready to get into unresponsive yo-yoing, if you've started doing tricks where you land the yo-yo on the string, or if you know how to bind, then we would recommend kind of bypassing the starter pack and getting what we call the Sage Pro Pack. And that comes with the Sage and the replacement bearing that upgrades it to an unresponsive yo-yo that also comes with thin lube to protect that bearing. Now, if you kind of want the best of both, what a lot of people have been doing is they've been getting the Pro Pack, and they've also been getting thick yo-yo lube in addition to that. The thick lube helps the yo-yo, as you first get it, play a little bit easier, and then when you upgrade the bearing, the Pro Pack comes with everything else that you need. So that's another good option. Now, if you've already got a Sage, or if you're looking for something a little bit different in this category, what we recommend for you is the DV888. And this is a metal yo-yo, so if you're thinking about getting a metal yo-yo but you're still a new player, this is a good option. As you can see, the DV888 is a pretty different yo-yo when compared to the Sage. The Sage is a little bit bigger, and the shape of the DV888 is actually a little bit more comfortable to hold, especially if your hands are small. But like the Sage, it has a lot of those good starter yo-yo characteristics. It sleeps really easily, but if you just give it a little bit of a tug, it comes right back, which is great. It sleeps long enough for you to start learning all of your tricks, and it's also upgradable. And so we actually sell a DV888 unresponsive kit that gives you all the different little pieces and the bearing that you need to turn this into a full unresponsive yo-yo so that you can continue on your way in becoming a better player. So once you've got into unresponsive yo-yoing, eventually you're going to just want to push forward and get a yo-yo that really isn't going to hold you back. And so if you've got a budget of under $50, the yo-yo that we recommend most is the Shudder. And we have been recommending this yo-yo for a long time, and for good reason. In fact, in 2014, this was the yo-yo that was used to win the World Yo-Yo Contest. You can see that this yo-yo really allows you to break through, and it's not going to hold you back. But there's other reasons we recommend it as well, especially if it's your first yo-yo in this price point and your first yo-yo that you're using to get into those types of tricks. The first thing is the Shudder is a very standard shape in terms of dimensions, is what I mean. So it's got pretty much the normal diameter that a lot of yo-yos have, and a pretty normal width. And what that means is that it's going to be good for a broad range of tricks. But there's one distinctive feature about the Shudder, is that it's very good at staying on plane. It resists moving side to side while you're doing tricks, which means that while you're doing all your different string tricks, it's going to make those a little bit easier. If you're doing tricks that are kind of moving away from your body, it's going to stay on plane to make those tricks easier. If you want to start learning your different body tricks, again, that particular quality is just going to be something that you're really going to appreciate about the Shudder. And so for all those different reasons, we still feel like this is just the best option when you're getting into this level of play. So we highly recommend this yo-yo. Now, if you've already got a Shudder, or if you've tried that and you're just looking for something different, we do have a couple other yo-yos that we want to recommend that are good complements to the Shudder. And the first one is the Minute. The first thing you'll notice when comparing the Minute to the Shudder is that the Minute has a smaller diameter. And like most yo-yos with a small diameter, it's going to play a little bit faster than most yo-yos. But it also, what they've done with this is they've concentrated a lot of weight around the outer edge of the yo-yo. And what that does is it gives you a greater sense of control. And so with a lot of fast yo-yos, they can feel a little bit wild, especially if you're not used to that speed. But that control makes you feel like, even though it's going faster, you can actually manipulate the yo-yo and get it to do what you want, which is really great. Now, the other thing about the Minute is because it's got that smaller diameter, it's going to be a little bit better when you're hitting your chopstick tricks, and especially if your hands are a little bit smaller, it's going to give you the room to do that. And when you're doing your grinds, that small diameter is actually going to give you a lot more time to hit your tricks, which is just going to be an advantage that you just won't have with larger yo-yos. And so we are really excited to recommend the Minute to you, and I think that you're really, really going to enjoy this yo-yo. Now, on the other side, again, comparing it to the Shudder, the other yo-yo that we want to recommend to you is the Horizon. Comparing it to the Shudder, the first thing you'll notice about the Horizon is that it has a considerably larger diameter, which does give it a whole unique set of qualities. But the most distinctive feature about this yo-yo is this bowl shape on the inner cup, which is actually great for doing off-axis finger grinds. And compared to any other yo-yo that we've ever carried, the Horizon is able to do finger grinds much longer, which opens up a whole different set of tricks. And that larger diameter actually gives it a lot of power when it's spinning, so that you can not only extend the length of your finger grinds, but actually every single trick, this yo-yo will sleep a little bit longer. It resists leaning a little bit more because of that. And so if you're looking for a yo-yo to really help you power through tricks, and if you're at all interested in finger grind tricks, the Horizon is the yo-yo for you. Now, the Horizon, the Minute, and the Shudder, those in our store are all in what we call the budget metal category. And those are just metal yo-yos that are under $60. And this is kind of a dynamic category for us. Throughout the year, you may notice yo-yos coming in and out of this category as we try new yo-yos and as we find things that kind of fit into this mold of just yo-yos that are going to really help the player become a more dynamic yo-yoer. So it's a good idea to just check back there every now and then and just see what we have in stock and read our descriptions to see what those yo-yos can do and why we decided to add them to our store. But if price is really not a concern for you, then it actually opens up two more areas of our store, and that is the high-end metal yo-yos and also the bi-metal yo-yos. And one thing I do want to point out is that when you go from a budget metal to a high-end or a bi-metal, because the yo-yos are more expensive, you may think, wow, these are going to have just a huge bump in performance. And actually, that's not really the case. All these metal yo-yos are really machined using the same processes, and a lot of them have the same bearing. And so you're not going to see that huge jump that you might expect. And so you may wonder, well, why would I even bother spending more money on a yo-yo? But there's actually a lot of good reasons. So if you start to look at the high-end metal yo-yos, what you'll find is a lot of them are made in the United States or Canada, which is really nice. And a lot of them have some very distinctive features that you just won't find in the budget metal category. And a lot of these yo-yos are more limited run, and that's part of what also makes them more interesting, but can make them cost a little bit more money. So one of the yo-yos that we've been carrying that we really like, and it seems like our customers have really appreciated, is the Gradient. And the Gradient is made by One Drop, which is an American company, and we really, really respect the quality of their work. It also comes with side effects, which are these little pieces that you can take out and put back in the yo-yo, which can change the weight distribution of the yo-yo, so your yo-yo can play just a little bit different day to day, which is a really neat feature. And we have a whole review on this yo-yo, and we definitely think you should check that out because we really enjoy this yo-yo, and that will tell you everything you need to know about it to see if it's the right yo-yo for you. Now, the other high-end metal yo-yo that we definitely want to talk about is our own Civility yo-yo. This is the yo-yo that we use in all of our videos to teach the most advanced tricks. And one thing that we haven't talked about so much before is the stainless steel nut capture system that we use in this yo-yo. And besides being just a nice design element, one of the things that makes this great is because the nut is stainless steel, stripping on this yo-yo has been a non-issue. And the other thing that's kind of nice, and you wouldn't really notice this until you really start learning tricks, is that the Civility yo-yo is really easy to take apart and to put back together. And compared to a lot of yo-yos, some yo-yos, the bearings, they fit really, really tight on the yo-yo, and so you have to really work hard to get the yo-yo halves apart, and then once you've got them apart and you've got that knot out, you actually have to kind of balance the top half on the yo-yo and hope that the threads connect the right way. And if you accidentally have it leaned a little bit when you're getting the yo-yo together, those threads can cross thread and it might actually strip your yo-yo. and that can have a devastating effect on the yo-yo. So that's just something you won't have to worry about if you get a Civility. And because the Civility is the yo-yo we use when we teach the most advanced tricks on our site, you can be confident that it'll be able to do all the tricks you want to learn on the site. So the next category is bimetal yo-yos, and these are yo-yos that are composed of two different metals, usually aluminum and stainless steel, or titanium or brass. And these yo-yos have become really popular lately, and I think it's because you can achieve something with bimetal that you just can't with a solid aluminum yo-yo. And the reason for that is that these different metals that they're putting onto the yo-yo, they weigh more than straight aluminum, and so you can put weight and center it in just one place in a way that you just can't otherwise. And so that gives all of these yo-yos a very distinctive feel compared to other yo-yos. And so this is one of those things where companies are going to add bimetal yo-yos sometimes very temporarily, so they're going to be very limited stock, and then sometimes they make it just a major part of their line. And so we're always trying these different yo-yos out, and when we really like one, that's when we put it in the store. Because it is a more expensive process that makes the yo-yos more expensive, so we want to make sure that you're really going to love a bimetal yo-yo if you get it from us. And so this one right here is the Space Cowboy, and this is one that we really, really do like. And around YoYoTricks.com, even though this is one of the most expensive yo-yos we have on the site, we kind of call it the Everyman Yo-Yo because in some ways, it doesn't really have a standout feature. It's equally good for all the different skills that a 1A player would have, and it's actually really good for 5A. It was used to win the National Yo-Yo Contest in 5A in 2014. And so if you want a yo-yo that's going to give you the full spread of options as far as learning tricks and maybe even take you into 5A, you just can't go wrong with the Space Cowboy. And so those are our recommendations for 2015. Again, always just check back in the store in all those different categories and see if we've added new product, and we'll have detailed descriptions to tell you all about them. If you have any questions, feel free to log in on YouTube and ask us questions about the yo-yos or about tricks or anything, and we're always happy to help you out. And that is the 2015 Yo-Yo Buyer's Guide for YoYoTricks.com.